Amanda, Kayla, I'm in. Look, I'm in for it. On a personal note, these are two very driven and successful and nice human beings. I would like for them to get what they want. It doesn't mean it doesn't leave me a little bit confused. I've never been willing to say Amanda's back. While all the media is printing it, and this is getting headlines, my definition of back is that you're back into the pool. And that used to be USADA. I understand it's no longer called USADA, but it is commonly thought of as the USADA pool, whatever the testing pool is. Okay? And to my understanding, Amanda is not back in that. To my understanding, and I used to be a real expert on this. I used to know this stuff off the top of my head, and as long as we're going by the rules that were set forth by USADA, I still am an expert on this. But whether or not we're following the new rules and whether or not they're identical to USADA is something that I don't know. Now, I tell you that because USADA did not what USADA referred to. They did not want somebody to go on a steroid holiday where you pull out. There's a number of substances that you can take that while the substance will leave your body, the effects of the substance will remain. Meaning you can still get benefits from something that you would test negative for. All right, great. Stating the obvious on that, I'm just sharing with you. There was a couple of ways to go and re-enter, and 2 months would be the general standard. Unless you had a negative assay returned in the past, in which you would need 6 months to re-enter. So, this has nothing to do with Amanda, who has never used a substance. She's never had a negative assay. I'm sharing with you, for me, as someone that's going to come out and go, she's back. My own litmus test is, are you in the pool? The moment you come back, your clock starts. But it works in rewind as well. The moment you retire, your clock stops. It's very expensive. If they were to come and test somebody who was not ever going to compete, it would be very advantageous and important for you to understand when to stop that clock. Okay. So, we're led to believe that Amanda is going to return to face the girl who we're also told she left the sport so she didn't have to face. Now, both those statements can't be true. And people have the right to change their minds. And Kayla wasn't with the organization, let alone eligible for the weight class of 135 pounds. I'm just reminding you of this. I'm just reminding you before you think Amanda ran away from Kayla, which is a headline out there. That isn't necessarily accurate. There was a way, sure, when we could have sit down and had a conversation and probably got everybody to agree to 145 pounds. There was not a reasonable belief that we could sit down and get everybody to agree at 135 pounds. That was done by Kayla, and Kayla alone deserves credit for that. But one of Amanda's great battles in the sport is also the scale. The scale was her most undesired enemy, too. So now we're to believe that with a break, where what we know as human beings, sadly, that we don't get lighter with time, we don't get smaller with time, we don't get better at something by not doing it. We're to believe that she's going to do just that. She's going to get better, she's going to get smaller. Her body's going to be more fit now. That's a tough sell. It's a tough sell, but it's Amanda who does tough things I'm willing to buy. I get a piece of information then from Daniel Cormier. And I'm making this piece and I'm coming to you guys to clear this up and tell me which one of us is right. My understanding is that Amanda is now a gym owner. That's what she does for a living. Amanda left American Top Team. Her and Nina opened a small facility and they were running MMA. A little 6 a.m. class for the women and a little lunchtime class for the men, a little evening class for the kids, something along these lines. And Daniel told me, he goes, hey, whoa, chill, hold on. Said that the size of that facility And the length of that business was just enough to get Amanda through her very last fight. They are not. Daniel said, I'll challenge you. He challenged me. He says, tell me the name of the gym. If Amanda and Nina own a gym, what's the name of the gym? Who coaches at the gym? Name one fighter that works out at the gym. I had no response. I wasn't looking to be right on this topic, by the way. I mean, it wasn't like a fight with Daniel and I, but I did think that I was right. I thought that she was in the gym business. I thought that that's what she'd been doing with her time. It's very relevant. I thought she was in there working out, rolling around, practicing with the students. But if those things aren't true, if Daniel's right, and he does ask 3 pretty good questions, who's she training with? Who's coaching there? What's the name of the facility? It's a very different proposition if Amanda is coming back from ground zero. It would start over with what happened in the gym between Amanda and Kayla. Those workouts did take place. Now, I got a source at American Top Team. And I said to him, Coach, come on. You know what happened. What happens in the gym stays in the gym, but what did happen? Tell me about those workouts. Was Kayla really able on day 1 to walk in and overtake Amanda? And the coach said, no, that's not what happened. He said it was not Amanda leaving was not a matter that Kayla came in and was doing better than her. That Amanda left because Kayla on day 1 had potential. She had potential and she had a desire to take over Amanda. So if Kayla is to succeed within her own desire, she's going to need the help of the teammates and the coaches that up until this moment in time were Amanda's. Amanda's coaches and Amanda's workout partners are the very ones that are going to refine and rise up Kayla, and that caused for some hurt feelings. I would understand that. I have no problem with that. But I do look at that and go, okay, that's a reason to fight. But instead, what that resulted in was a reason to leave the gym. And now Kayla has gotten better. Now she's not on her first day. Which again, you can get better and still not catch Amanda. Amanda is the greatest woman to have ever done this. But if you start putting that car in drive and the other one's in reverse, right, it's a very big deal. If Amanda does not have a facility, if I'm wrong about that, if she is not a coach, if I have that all wrong, she's not in there discussing the techniques, going through the motions, teaching others, if she is sat for 3 years, well, Kayla has trained and prepared for 3 years. It's a big part of the story. It's enough to shift the line at DraftKings completely. It's enough to change your mind completely. And it would also bring in the weight. I mean, could you imagine, guys? We have, as an audience, have to believe, before we can ever get excited or get behind this fight, we have to believe that these girls can beat the scale. And we know that Kayla can. She's shown it 3 times in a row. That's a pretty regular basis. Amanda hasn't stubbed her toe, but it's been 3 years. And I think as that fight starts to get closer, it also starts to get a little bit clearer. It feels like things were murky for a while, but now things are starting to clear up just a little bit. And Amanda's made another statement, which is, I'm not coming back for one. I am back. I'm going to fight multiple girls. And whether that's just how she's feeling in the moment, or she's not aware enough there aren't multiple girls out there that are asking to fight you, there aren't multiple girls that the audience wants to see you fight, that can be a problem for another day. As long as you're sincere on this one fight, at this specific weight class, the rest of those details, we can work out as they come.